What's going on YouTube? JT is Reborn here, and welcome back to another edition of my DC comic book reviews. And in this video, we're talking about Nightwing issue number 129. This one is written by Dan Watters and artwork by Dexter Soy. So, in the last issue, I think was the annual that we talked about, which is a little bit of an origin of the Zanny. We got some background to the head of Spheric Industries, and now we kind of left ourselves back up kind of in the main numbered issues where Nightwing was trapped in Titan's Tower. He was trying to save Barbara Gordon and help Nightmite and all that because the Zanny and that did some stuff, and Nightmite's feeling pain and all this other stuff for like the first time. When you're dealing with fifth dimension imps and all that crazy stuff, reality is going all over the place. But this is Dan Watters, so expect the strange, which even as I was starting, it was kind of starting out kind of grounded. When the crazy stuff, okay, there we go. And overall, I thought this was a pretty decent, solid issue. We had some great looking artwork by Dexter Soy. The concepts are a little out there in some capacities, but we see here this whole story about making chicken soup, which ties back into when Dick Grayson was younger and sick, Alfred would always make him some. So since Nightmite is connected to Nightwing and some of his past memories and all that stuff, because, fifth dimensional imp fanboy and all that, Babs makes basically like this existential bowl of soup. It's weird when I say it out loud when I try to describe the plot of this thing, but in essence, she does some stuff and is able to help heal Nightmite. Bitewing was affected by this stuff too, and then he's able to kind of get her back to normal. We also see Nightwing Prime is there as well. We come to find out a pretty interesting twist towards the end of the issue about who Nightwing Prime is in this thing, which I was kind of surprised by, but I thought was kind of a cool reveal. He's really against kind of changing this world and kind of getting rid of it because he has power and all that once we see who he is. We have that there. We have, some flashbacks to Alfred, even the pet rabbit that we saw beforehand comes back as Nighthair to kind of help him out during the course of these things. And eventually, like I said, we get the reveal that Nightwing Prime is actually Bryce, the boy that was the fanboy of Nightwing of sorts, the one who kind of wanted to become his sidekick, the one who was involved in the gangs and all that too. So I thought that was a bit of an interesting reveal because he's almost like two personalities in one. Dick's trying to convince him that this reality isn't real, but he doesn't want to accept it because he's got all these powers and stuff. So that'll be interesting to see how this all kind of plays out going forward. And of course we have Babs and that she's like, okay, I got Nightmite here. He's this little blob of whatever. And before she can even finish, he runs up and kisses her because he's really happy to see her. And there is a funny bit of banter there where he's like, did I rescue you? He's like, of course not, but thanks for trying. So that was just kind of a little bit of playfulness there too. So she's like, I better go out a different way, secret identities and all that too. So she's gonna find her own way out. Spheric Industries is like, yeah, thanks to us working with Nightwing, we were able to save the day. Isn't this great? He kind of drops the stuff off because he's like, I ain't dealing with your crap, lady. And then, of course, the issue ends with Bryce now okay, I'm going to do my own form of justice, whether Nightwing likes it or not. He's kind of watching over him and stuff. So that was the finale to this particular arc. Not really much resolution with the Zanny and all that. I'm sure we'll get more of a thing. Maybe Nightmite will factor into the storyline a little bit more as it progresses and as he comes back to full strength. Perhaps we'll have more fifth dimensional imps going up against the Zanny and all that, because in the annual we learn more of the Zanny's background, more of the background of the Spheric Industries head. Why am I drawing a blank on her name off the top of my head? I'm just calling her head of Spheric Industries. I know her name, it's off the top of my tongue, but I just can't remember it right now. I don't know why, because I literally just did a video about it a week or two ago. But anyways, all things considered, I thought this was a pretty good one. I was really surprised by who Nightwing Prime ended up being, because the way the reality kind of affected different things. We saw what it did to Bitewing, the Haley, the puppy, or I guess a dog now at this point. She's been around for a while. And of course, what it did to the rabbit and that he had beforehand, and a few other. Didn't he get a rabbit in this run? Unless I'm misremembering something, I don't know. But just seeing all this different stuff kind of come into play in that too. So Dan Watters is crafting a pretty interesting storyline. I'm liking what we're doing so far with it. It definitely dabbles into the weird and kind of crazy stuff like I expected it to, even going into this run. I'm like, oh, this is kind of normal right now. When's the crazy stuff start? Oh, here we go. Every time you deal with the fifth dimensional imps and all that other stuff, that's when things just go off the rails and really anything's possible, and it's hard to kind of almost write yourself out of that type of situation, because if all things are possible, then what are the rules? How do you stop something that just feels kind of infinite? So, but they did find a way to kind of wrap itself up. It's really bizarre just talking about how an existential bowl of chicken soup is what saves the day, but that's comic books for you. So yeah. But anyways, what did you all think of this particular issue? Did you like it? Did you dislike it? Are you really not a fan of the fifth dimensional limb stuff, or do you like when we kind of go crazy, stuff like that? How do you think Dan Waters is doing with the title? Post your comments down below. Be sure to like this video, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel for more content, hit the bell for notifications. I got more DC comic books coming up, and I got another comic book as well, but we'll get to those in due time. I haven't really had time to read the other like 3 or 4 comic books that came out yesterday, because for whatever reason, even if I pre-order something doesn't drop in until like later on, and I'm just now getting the chance to kind of read Nightwing and talk about it. So I also did videos like on the latest issue of Mothra, Queen of the Monsters, and then I did Absolute Batman, which I was talking with more people about it too. I may have been off by what happened in that issue, but again, I'm not 100% sure, because it's kind of iffy towards the end. Like, we're kind of like, is this a dream? Is this not? Is it something else? But that's discussion for another day. We'll get more clarification when the next issue drops. So, but yeah. All right. Well, got more stuff coming up soon, so stay tuned for all that. Probably drop more of the videos tomorrow. Hopefully I can get them all done by then, and then we'll be all good to go. All right. Thanks for watching, everybody. Take care now. Bye-bye then. I'll see you all in the next video. Peace out.